Hello, my name's Courtney. I teach second grade at East Sandy Elementary. That's about a quarter of a mile from Union High School and about half a mile from Hillcrest High School. I have a rather homogeneous class, mainly white middle-class students. I do currently have 3 ELL students. One is from Iraq. He's been in country for about 3 years, since kindergarten, and I have one who was half Chinese, half American. He was born in Hong Kong. And my newest one, she is Russian. I'm not too sure about her. She just did her WIDA testing. She is new to our school district, and but she's one of my highest readers and fairly conversant in English. In fact, all 3 of my students are still being serviced, but they are on the higher end of the WIDA spectrum. I'm going to look at this project from the point of view that all of our students, especially my little second graders, are ELL students. They are learning English every day. And I would like to begin by sharing a debate that I'm currently having with my students. We are reading The Wizard of Oz, and as I introduced the story and the characters, I read about Dorothy's Aunt Em. Several of my students were quick to correct me that it is actually Aunt Em, not Aunt Em. I was brought up to say aunt. It's inherent in my vocabulary. I can't change. I'm not expecting my students to change. They've been brought up to say aunt. But here we have an example of free variation of an allophone, where we have 2 sounds that can be put into the same place, but it doesn't change the meaning of the word. Aunt or aunt, it is still the sister of your father or your mother. And our debate is kind of moot. We like teasing each other about it, but they understand when I say aunt, what I'm referring to is what they would say as an aunt. My second experience is one of my ELL students this past week. We read a story about the desert, and I posed a question as to why a lizard might burrow its way into the sand, and my student from Iraq was vibrating with excitement as he raised his hand to share that he could be escaping from a predator. A word that he learned while watching a cartoon, probably Wild Kratts. It seems to be very popular with my second graders. He has deleted the complete, of the 3 syllables, he's deleted the vowel sound in the middle syllable. This is an example of syncope, as opposed to most of the time when we delete syllables, they tend to be consonants, an underlying consonant. We do this frequently. We go from mackerel to mackerel, or federal to federal, were examples that Finnegan gave in chapter 4. I was excited that he remembered this word, and that he just had this great sense of accomplishment and pride that he remembered the word and could share it with the class. So go predators. Eat those lizards. My final example that I'd like to share experience I've noticed is once again across my class, we spent the first part of the year reviewing both long and short vowels. And long vowels will continue to be a struggle through the year, but short vowels, we spent a lot of time on that in first grade. I still notice, though, especially with some of my lower students, what we refer to in the Canyons District as Quad 4 students, that they tend to mix up vowels. So we, for example, I and E, they interchange when they move from phonemics into the phonics and writing down the word, or an A and an E, A's and O's they tend to mix up. So we spent a good deal of time paying attention to the shape of our mouths and where the placement of our tongues, as like both the I sound and the S sound are in the front up. Your mouth is closed, your tongue tends to be up in the front, and we were making rather quite exaggerated faces as we were reviewing these, and subsequently as we are continuing with the writing process, and if they've interchanged vowels, I will make the I versus an sort of sound and really help them to see which vowel it is by paying attention to the roundness of the lips and the placement of the tongue. And these are my 3 examples of English and linguistics that my students have used. Thank you.